Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your Judy, and as usual, I'm here with my buddy Todd Corley. Let's jump right in. We got a lot of stuff to cover between a lot of upsets and overtimes and plenty of breaking news. We got plenty to cover here. So let's start out with that barn burner on Thursday night. We had Week 10 action. We had Atlanta Falcons and the Panthers in the middle of a hurricane monsoon. I don't know. I didn't really see too much of that game. That really kind of piqued my interest, to be honest. Mariota and the Falcons kind of laid a big turd on the field. They didn't seem that impressive to me.
Garbage.
They squeaked one out, but overall it fit the bill for the usual Thursday matchup. Not too exciting.
It's awful. Absolutely awful. Disgusting. Baker Mayfield headbutting in concussion protocol, but somehow starting this week. Makes sense.
I don't see how you. Yeah, I mean, how do you get around it? But from one dumpster to another, let's go to Detroit. Detroit wins yet another game, 2 in a row now. After being down 14, they come back and squeeze out a 31-30 win over the Bears. I was flipping back and forth between this one and the Buffalo-Minnesota game, and they said that this is the first time in, 30 years, almost 30 years or something, that Detroit was down by 14 and came back and won. That's pretty impressive, I guess, but that just tells you how bad your franchise is if it's 30 years before you can come back and win a game after you're down.
Some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue.
I don't think I've ever heard that one, but I'll write it down so I can use it later.
That's right. Oh, man. The Bears were getting shat on this past week, I'll tell you that. Cheers.
Well, there's only one shining star on that whole team, so we'll cover that here a little bit later. Let's move down to Indianapolis. We had our guy off the street get his first inaugural win. Jeff Saturday and the Indianapolis Colts, they kind of look like a team. They brought back some players from the dead. JT, welcome back to football.
That's right. Simple. Get your best player on the field. That makes perfect sense to me.
It's amazing how when that happens,
put the ball in the hands.
Yeah, it's amazing. The production follows. I don't understand why it took that long and why it took that many coaching fires and coordinator changes to state that fact. But hey, let's just all be happy that it happened.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the Music City Miracle. It's the BS that happened with the Bills and the Oilers back in the day, or Titans, whatever the hell they were, fucking Houston, Tennessee. Doesn't matter. Listen,
it went this deep.
Listen, we're going to peel back all the onion layers on this episode, okay, folks? I've been drinking wine. We switched from 1800. I love you. You weren't giving us enough money. We've had to move on. This episode is brought to you by Bartles and James. We're traveling back to the year was 1998 or 1988. I'm drunk. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Frank Reich peaked with that. Yes, that's right. That's right. That pseudo faux win that the Bills had back when they beat the Oilers, Titans, whoever they were. Frank Reich got shit canned. Saturday's in the driver's seat. You got the bulletin board material calling the Raiders dog shit, allegedly. Or maybe he just said they weren't that good at football. I don't know. Either way, Jeff Saturday's 1-0 as a football head coach. Bill Cowher can suck it. Joe Thomas can suck it. Do you know what the issue is here? All these people who are coaches are so up in arms about the fact that a guy with no experience was given the opportunity to coach an NFL team with no college or NFL experience, right? What did he do? It's crazy. He won. What did he expose? The fact that anybody can win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your resume is. It's a good old boy network. I love it. I want the goddamn Colts to go to the playoffs. I want Jeff Saturday to be the most hated man in the NFL. I want to be the most hated man in sports podcasts. Fuck you, Pat McAfee. I'm coming for you, baby. I said it.
Man, I don't even know where to go from there. I don't know how we follow up with that.
Cheers.
With that being said, now, obviously they got their win, but it was over the dog shit Raiders. So, a win's a win. You take them how you can get them. But what in God's name is going on with the Raiders? Yet another game that they let slide away.
I don't know, Derek.
I don't know if Devontae's wishing he was in Green Bay because their situation's not any better. But god damn, I don't know.
Terrible.
I don't know what to think of that team.
God, you resurrected Matt Ryan. You got the crypt keeper himself out there throwing passes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've never been happier. I couldn't care less that the Browns lost this week. The Colts. I was the biggest Colts fan this side of the Rockies. Oh my God. God bless you, Indianapolis. God bless you, Jeff Saturday. You know what? Ugh. The Golden Boy's hands touch your scrotum so many times. Peyton Manning, love you. W, baby.
I'm just happy that JT got a chance to prove his worth again.
You would.
Since we haven't seen it since week 1.
Yeah.
I forgot he even existed at this point.
I was glad he didn't exist. But I'm glad the Colts won. I don't own Jonathan Taylor in any fantasy leagues, which means he's dead to me.
Well, he's dead to most people.
But he got the W, baby. Yeah. He got the W. I don't own any Raiders either, so they're really dead to me.
But we'll move on to the next one here. The next two overtime games. Bills, Minnesota.
Oh, greatest. The greatest game I've seen all season.
It seems like those two teams spent more time on the goal line than most teams combined. It went down to the wire just like we kind of expected. And I honestly wasn't sure what to expect from that game with Josh Allen and his injury and kind of beat up.
Yeah,
if they were going to more on the running, and if they were going to try to do a lot of short passes. He didn't even look like it phased him. He just looked like the same old thing.
Yeah, it didn't phase him until his last interception. I could have thrown a better pass with my left hand. Watching him fall to the ground and just, oh, woe is me. Oh, God, my arm. The only thing that asshole heard of that pass was his pride because that was bullshit. That was a terrible pass. I love Josh Allen, but dear God, dude.
When I saw it in real time, I was confused because he played pretty decent all game. They play competitive. It was a good game. But on that last drive, when he threw that pick in the end zone, he ran to the right, threw it to the right, but there was a guy before he scrambled to the right. It was only 4th and 3 or something like it was easily able to be picked up. I don't know if it was a tight end or a slot guy. He was 5 yards off to the left sideline, just standing there pretty much doing jumping jacks. And Josh Allen, it's like he didn't even see him and ran to the right and threw a pick. The guy was right there. That was a first down. I don't know what he saw or what he didn't see, but he didn't even look that way. He just took off and ran to the right and threw a pick.
Dude, oh my God. My cousin's ex-wife used to do the same goddamn thing every Sunday afternoon in our bowling league. She's bowling fine, right? She's bowling a solid 80, 85. I mean, she's rocking it, right? 85, maybe a game. Every time she'd chunk one off of her fucking fat thigh, then she'd walk back to the seat, holding her arm oh, woe is me. Oh God, I hurt myself. Oh, I'm injured. I'm hurt. That's exactly the same thing I saw out of Josh Allen on that last interception. All I saw was my cousin's ex-wife's her fucking blubbery mouth just crying on this. You know what? I'm done. I can't. I'm glad the Vikings won.
He's getting a lot of run on this podcast lately.
This is happening. You know what? We're taking over.
I'll put it this way. I'm glad that it went to overtime because it definitely was a good game back and forth. It wasn't one of those blowouts. It wasn't a team that just fell short. But I was just kind of dumbfounded on some of the play calls and some of the way that the play panned out. I don't know. I was just confused on some, especially down the stretch of the end of regulation. It didn't make sense why you're running some of the stuff you were running. But
dude, the Bills are a hell of a team.
It was a good game.
Vikings are fantastic. Justin Jefferson, honest to God, I think Justin Jefferson is the greatest wide receiver in the NFL. That dude
out there to compare to. I mean, he's above everybody else. It's not even close.
You could make an argument for Cooper Kupp pre-injury. You could or Jamar Chase pre-injury, or he should be back soon. But Justin Jefferson. No, man. Honest to God, there's a reason the Vikings were laughing when the Eagles took Jalen Reagor in the draft ahead of him. Justin Jefferson, number one receiver in the NFL, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't understand how anybody could dispute that at this point. Like,
No, he's
week in and week out.
If he had a real quarterback throwing to him.
Can you imagine? Just stop and think about this. Can you imagine Patrick Mahomes or him with Josh Allen?
Dude.
That wouldn't even be fair.
He's the real deal. Number one.
Well, let's put a pin in that one and move to the next overtime game. Green Bay and Dallas. I'm going to be honest. I was expecting a massive blowout. I was expecting Green Bay to be down 28-0 starting the second quarter. I didn't even put any prop bets or anything in on this game because I absolutely had no clue what to expect. I just figured they were going to get curb stomped. And then it kind of caught me off guard when they came out of the gate actually putting points on the board because that typically doesn't happen these days. But, then everything kind of fell back to the earth when they were down 28-14. But the thing that kind of impressed me the most is they actually looked like a typical Packers team when they were able to actually compete and come back in the fourth quarter from that 14-point deficit to actually tie it up. Like, that's typically what you expect from the Packers, and that hasn't been the case at all this year. But the most impressive thing, obviously, everybody's talking about is Christian Watson. I saw a stat I think they popped up during the game where he's the first rookie since 1978 to score 3 touchdowns in the same game. Like, that's pretty impressive.
He looked good.
But with that being said, I didn't feel that great when he did the backflip because I'm like, oh, now he's going to go to the blue tent. Because the guy's made of plexiglass, essentially, or tissue paper. He's so fragile. Like, don't do anything extra. Just get the ball, go to the end zone, get out the field before you get hurt. He's been very injury-riddled, so I'm just glad that he made it out without a scratch. With that being said, Amari Rodgers, god damn, could we...
Well, no longer.
No, thank God. It only took him how many drops, but Ty Montgomery didn't even get this big of a leash, and he blew so many games too. Like, come on. And the fact that everybody kept calling for it, like, what is going on here? What's going on? He's dropping punts left and right. Like, I would have been better on. I said this to a buddy of mine who's a Packers fan. I said I would feel more confident with a blind, deaf, asthmatic quadriplegic out there on the field fielding punts, because there's a good chance they're not going to get the ball, which also means you're not going to turn it over. You're just not going to gain any yards. I would be happier with that at this point.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. And the fact that the coaches kept saying every week, oh, we got to evaluate. Evaluate what? Are you blind? The guy can't catch. He drops everything. He doesn't run the right routes. Like, what is he showing you to make you confident enough to continue putting him out there? Like, just end it already. So thankfully, he's done. They let him go today. But I'm kind of shocked they let Kylan Hill go, the running back who had an ACL injury. He looked really, really good last year before he tore his ACL. And he kind of came back and he had a few snaps, but then they let him go. But my thought was, if you're going to let Amari Rodgers, who's proven to give you nothing, I think I saw a stat, he had 4 career catches and 5 fumbles. Like, the bar's pretty low. Before you let Hill go, why not put him back there or Turner and just let him try it and see what happens? God knows he can't be any worse. But I was kind of shocked that they let him go.
Yeah, I don't know if Kylan Hill's ever gotten a fucking rushing attempt, because that other commodity that's in the backfield with thighs as big as my waist gets underutilized. Special teamers come and go, who cares? But for me, the biggest stat for that game was Aaron Rodgers' 20 attempts total. Yeah. You're winning when Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball only 20 times. Well,
did you see the stat line for Jones? I think Jones.
Yeah.
26 total touches and
24 carries. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you got
plus 2 receptions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you have a guy touching the ball 25 to 30 times a game.
Yeah.
who's your workhorse,
Yeah.
give it to the. I feel like we're on rinse repeat mode. Same thing as Indy. Give it to the guy that's the proven commodity. He's your workhorse. You paid him. Let him do his work. So it's amazing what happens when you let it happen.
I mean, it holds true for your favorite team, the Packers. When Aaron Jones touches the ball 25 plus times a game, 20 touches, 24 plus touches a game, they win. When my team, when Nick Chubb touches the ball 20 plus, 25 plus touches a game, they win. That's what I'm saying, man. Jeff Saturday's got this shit figured out, dude. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
It basically applies to any team. You give it to the best guy on the field. The Vikings, they're feeding Justin Jefferson everything he can catch. Jonathan Taylor, you give every ball to him. The Browns, Nick Chubb should never come off the field. Not even at halftime. Give him a pom-pom and let him do his dance on the half.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't take him off the field. A.J. Dillon, those two should never come off the field. You give it to the guys that prove they can get the job done. With that being said, it's a little frustrating that you have Aaron Rodgers getting paid $50 million to hand the ball off to Jones. But hey, you know what? If we're winning games, you do what you need to get. You do what you need to do to get the W. I don't care what it is. Just get it done.
That's right. Strap on the knee pads and some Xanax. I don't give a shit. Hashtag no shame.
But what was the bigger? I don't even know where to go after that one.
We're going off script.
What was the biggest?
Oh shit!
The biggest takeaway from that Packers game, we'll move on after this, was it the Packers actually showing up and being able to pull one out after being down 14, or was it Dallas not being able to put the pedal down? Because down the stretch there, Dak had some really bad.
It's a hell of a game, dude. Honestly,
bad judgment throws,
dude.
I think it comes down to Mike McCarthy.
Bad judgment.
McCarthy management again.
And he threw it. He threw the ball damn near 50 times himself. Dallas did the right thing too, though. Shit, they had Pollard out there. Pollard ran for 115 yards,
something like that.
Yeah. Dak Prescott had a hell of a game. CeeDee Lamb CeeDee Lamb had 11 receptions, 150 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb did everything but finger blast that girl that was on the draft day cam with him. I mean, homeboy was blowing up.
Now, with that being said, and what I mean by judgment calls, you go down the stretch and you've been pedal to the floor the whole game. Green Bay's coming back. It's 4th down in overtime. Why do you not kick the field goal there instead of giving it back to Green Bay?
Because kickers are, dude, I don't give a good goddamn who you are. Outside of Justin Tucker, every one of these kickers, I'd trade him for a bag of Funyuns. I don't give a good goddamn. These field goals are trash. Extra points should be done away with. It should be 2 points every game, every single score.
So then, okay, look at it this way. You're in overtime. You're in field goal range. If you kick the field goal, you're at least given your shot at either winning or potentially tying if you hold them. If you don't get it on 4th down, the other team, they can kick a 50-yard field goal and pull out the win, and you never even had a shot. If you don't go for it and you put up 3, at least you got something out of it. And you got to force and rely on your defense then. But I don't know if the thought process was Michael Parsons and that defense, for as good as they've been. I didn't hear Micah Parsons' name.
I swear to God, I heard you just say Michael Parsons twice.
Oh, I did.
And I had to put my tampon back inside. I lost it.
I didn't hear him get his name mentioned really at all that game. Like, he wasn't a factor, I don't feel like, when normally you're seeing him all over the field. So then did that play into the fact of, hey, we're going to try to continue this drive here because we don't know that our defense can stop them. Like, I don't know. But
whatever they did worked, because any game that Micah Parsons is only getting 5 tackles, you did something right.
I would think that with that being said, though, you would have taken the points.
Don't ever leave it to your kicker. A kicker is like a carry-on bag. You stuff them under your seat. You throw them in the overhead compartment. and you don't worry about it. You don't ever rely on a kicker. Woody Hayes, 1968. Listen.
You're going to go punch your kicker?
Listen, why did you go for 2? Well, you're up by 58 points. Why did you go for 2? Exactly. We couldn't go for 3. Fuck the kickers, dude. I'm telling you right now, I don't like Justin Tucker because he plays for the Ravens. But honestly, if it's outside of Justin Tucker, toilet paper. Get another roll. Who cares? Only use them when you absolutely have to. I'd rather wipe my ass in the woods with my hand than have a
wow. We are really learning a lot about
it's coming, baby. This is what happens when you switch from the former sponsor of 1800. When 1800 shuts you down and stops writing those checks, I'm looking at you.
Wait, you got checks?
That's right.
Givers, all those. Thanks for sharing the wealth.
Listen, they know who butters their bread. Holy shit. Alexa's talking to me in the other room. What the fuck did you say to her? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, the kids are going to waken up. Oh shit.
All right, well, let's move on to the upset of the week.
Let's hit number 50.
The Washington Commies.
The Commiores.
And Heineke take down
oh, fuck.
Philly.
Jesus. Say it ain't so.
Okay, let's look at this now. That whole division is either even. So, with that being said,
don't you sway me, Jared.
Is Philly overrated? Have they actually had a really tough competition yet, or have they been exposed?
I feel like this is a trap game. I feel like this is you're doing it to me now. You see, this is what you do. You get me off balance, right? Because all the first 3 weeks of the season, you're all trying to get me to go all in on the Giants. I see where you're going with this. You're a son of a bitch. Meanwhile, the Philly, look, the Eagles are destroying people. Jalen Hurts is benching like 860 pounds, give or take. But then all of a sudden, Washington comes in. Snyder's talking about selling. He's lulling you into a false sense of security. Oh, the Commanders, they're nothing, right? Then they're all of a sudden they're beating the undefeated, the godlike Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know, man. I'm ride or die. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Wan'Dale Robinson, the ghost of Michael Strahan and his gap tooth. I'm all in on the Giants. You can say anything you want. NFC East goes through New York.
Now, I feel like right now Washington's playing with house money because everyone's counted at the beginning, and they're not expected to do anything. So any game they win is bonus. At this point.
Dude,
I don't feel like they are even picked to do anything. So any game they win, I feel like they're playing with house money.
Bro, I'm telling you right now. Listen to me right now. The NFC East is the best division in all of football. The NFC East. The Eagles. They're not a pretender. They are a real deal. They are a real deal contender. Hurts, Brown, Sanders, Devontae Smith, that defense, the Eagles are the real deal. The Giants are the real deal. Saquon Barkley's pissed. Giants defense is good, better than average. Cowboys are no joke. Commanders, Taylor Heineke, this is my number one thing. Carson Wentz is going to come back, sadly enough.
And that's where they're going to fall back to.
Exactly. Exactly. Because Taylor Heineke is Baker Mayfield. Ugh. Dude.
Back to Carson. Taylor has shown he can play.
He can. He's got that chip on his shoulder. He's Baker Mayfield 1.7. He's not even 2.0. Taylor Heineke is Baker Mayfield.
I feel like
Robinson's fantastic. Oh my! Antonio Gibson is real, dude. McLaurin. Oh.
Here's two things I have, I guess, observations / questions on regarding Washington.
I got your answer, motherfucker. Let me talk.
To me, I feel like Washington's almost playing the role of Purdue in the Big Ten. They're not really that great. They're okay. They're respectable, but they're playing the spoiler role. They're beating up on these teams that they have no business hanging with. and they're not going to be in the final dance, but they're doing just enough to spoil other teams' futures. It's kind of the way I peg them.
I think surprise. Washington is actually Penn State. Chase Young is coming. Yes, because I'm telling you, Chase Young is coming back. What, next week? That defense was legit without Chase Young. I'm telling you, dude. Washington, dude. The NFC East is absolutely insane. All four should make the playoffs. I'm telling you right now. The NFC East they're going to kill it. They're going to cannibalize each other.
So here's another question. What do you think of the Heineke-Wentz situation? I almost kind of feel like this is another version of the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz in Philly.
Philly, yeah, that they went to the Super Bowl.
The guy that's getting paid $200,000 steps up and he shows he can ball, and then you got Wentz sitting on the bench. Like, do they keep? There's no way they go back to Carson. They can't.
They're gonna try it.
Yeah, and it's gonna implode just like it did in Philly or Indy last year. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right now. I see where you're going with this, Jared. You're trying to get me turned against the Giants. You're a real bastard. You get me off balance. You hit me with a 1-2, and then all of a sudden I'm going against my Giants. And you're right. You're working. It's working. You've Jedi mind fucked me yet again. You own me. You're crawled inside my mind. I'm a Washington fan. All of a sudden I'm a Commanders fan.
Ron Rivera has been around for a while. He's not a new coach. He's a pretty established coach, and he's got plenty of, respect and stock build up. He can't be that stupid. He knows talent when he sees it. He can't go back to Carson. But then again, they're paying Carson a buttload of money, and they're paying Taylor Heineke, what, peanuts? Groupons? I mean, they're not paying him anything.
I'm telling you, they're going to give Wentz a shot. No,
the reins. They're
going to
all that team this year.
They're going to. Then they're going to see what Carson Wentz actually is. Imposter syndrome. He's not great.
By now, they haven't seen it by now. I don't know what's going to.
They're going to give it back to Heineke, aka Baker, Maker Bayfield, whatever the fuck, Maker Bayfield. They're going to give it back to Taylor Heineke. They're going to win. Dude, I like the Commanders. I'm not going to lie. There's not a single team in that NFC East that I wouldn't take in the playoffs. Any one of them could win the NFC, and I'm not even kidding.
They could, but I don't see
any one of them.
I don't see Dallas making the playoffs just because somehow they'll find a way to blow it like they always do.
It's the NFC East versus the Minnesota Vikings. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to whatever I said about the Buccaneers in all those other previous episodes. If you're a long-time listener. Holy shit.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll touch base on this real quick, and then I have another, I'm sure I can imagine where your head's going to be on this. But, so then you got the 49ers and the Chargers on that Monday night game.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all that impressive, but
yeah,
they won 22-16. They won. But are they still a potential threat in the NFC?
Which, the 49ers?
Yeah.
I don't see
the NFC East all looking pretty decent. You still have the Vikings, basically running away with it. But then where do the 49ers fit into that?
If the Vikings didn't show me so much against what I think is actually the best team in the AFC, in the Bills, because the Bills already beat the Chiefs, pretty sure.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a look at that one because I'm like way too many Burrows and James deep. The Bills, I honestly believe, are the best team in the AFC. The Vikings, granted, it wasn't pretty, but they did it. And it was some weird turns of events. The Vikings, dude, I don't see the Niners in Shanahan, even with CMC. I don't see it. You still have Garoppolo as quarterback. I'm not a Garoppolo fan. The dude, I don't know, man. I would take the Vikings and, honest to God, any team in the NFC East over the Niners. I don't see it happening. No.
I don't know. I'm still not ready to write them off yet, although I really want to just because I can't stand them. but I think it really depends on how much more they can get Christian McCaffrey involved, because he could be the X factor down the stretch. He still hasn't really played a full 4 quarters with that playbook. He's still meshing with the team. I don't know what to expect from that.
I don't see it happening.
But let me. There's 2 specific plays, and oh boy, I can only imagine the incoming anger that's going to ensue here after this.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 questionable / bogus calls towards the end of those games, the 49ers game and the Washington game, with the unsportsmanlike targeting hits. What do you think? Both legal, both BS, both no flags?
I don't believe in targeting. I don't believe in it. I like football. Dude, I watched football in the 80s. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on 90% of the flags that are thrown nowadays. Bullshit.
I'll put it this way. I think the Greenlaw one, I didn't even realize targeting was a thing in the NFL.
It's not. It's fuck this.
College.
Exactly.
But the fact that he was already kind of leaving his feet as Herbert was going down. I mean, how are you supposed to adjust midair?
You can't. It's not.
Bad hit. He hit him in the head.
It's fucking bullshit.
Okay, fine, so be it. But why not the 15? Why the ejection? Any other hit, it would have been 15 if it wasn't a quarterback. But again, like we've said in countless other episodes, it's a quarterback, so it's automatically magnified. I've never seen a guy get ejected for anything less than fighting. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think if you're going to do something, throw the 15-yard flag and move on. As far as the Heineke one, where Heineke just like fell down and took a knee, and the guy like fell on him and jumped on him, like that whole thing was just weird.
Mom, he's hitting me again. Mom, bullshit.
Like,
you fucking
it was
pussies.
So funny because he like baited him into it. Like he just kept backing up, and then at the very last second, he just fell down, and the guy almost like tripped over him, and then they threw a flag. I'm like, I don't even understand what happened and how that happened, but because of that stupid flag, that basically just, not that Philly really had a chance, I don't think. They were just getting manhandled on both sides of the ball at that point, but that basically just sealed their fate right there on a stupid BS flag. Like, I've never seen a game end that badly.
No, that pissed me off.
It's a bad look.
It's sad. It's sad to see what the NFL's become. But it's all we got until The Rock gets his league up and running, so it is what it is. Here we are.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's move to some breaking news, and then we'll cover some studs and duds to finish it off. So some of the latest breaking news, as we discussed a little bit earlier before we started recording here, Zach Ertz done, season-ending knee injury. I'd like to say that's a big blow for Arizona, but I don't really know what Arizona is. So, aside from Dustin Hopkins and J.J. Watt and Buda Baker, I don't really know what. I don't know what they are. Colt McCoy and that whole team looked a heck of a lot better than what Kyler has, but I don't know. I'd like to say this is going to be a huge blow, but I don't feel like Zach Ertz has really been plugged into the whole scheme fully yet. I don't know. What do you think?
He's pretty goddamn good.
He is, but the team is.
I'll tell you what, though, if you're listening right now and you're into fantasy football, I'd go grab Trey McBride off the goddamn waiver wire if you need a tight end.
Well, you're throwing a dart throw at that point because
no, you're solid. You're going to get a top 10 tight end the rest of the year in fantasy. If you need a tight end, grab Trey McBride. You're welcome.
Tight ends not named Travis Kelce, pretty much all relevant. They're all about
Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride. Trey McBride, number 3 tight end. I'd take Trey McBride.
Is Andrews active yet?
He will be this week because I'm playing against him.
Fair enough. All right, well, you heard it, folks. There's your tight end breakdown.
Trey McBride, number 3.
Mark it. Put down your phones. Do whatever you need to do and go get them now.
Trey McBride. I own him in every one of our unofficial sponsors. Thrive, Fantasy Football. Thrive. Trey McBride. Bam. Mark him. Lock him in your lineup.
Well, we'll see how it pans out. And we'll
guaranteed.
Again.
Bet me.
Um,
Token bit peso coins.
Peso coins. We're going international.
Token bit queso coins.
Hey,
Doll hairs. I don't give a shit, Jared.
speaking of the international, we didn't cover the Euros and the Munichs, but we can cover that here in a little bit.
Goddamn right we will.
Cooper Kupp, the really only weapon for the Rams, down, going to IR with a ankle injury. I don't even know what to think of the Rams at this point. Like, they were struggling and they were pretty disgusting looking with him there. I can't imagine how much worse they're going to get without him. Like, that's gonna be bad.
You have to play the cards right. They can really shit the rest of the season and grab some Stroud from the Buckeyes.
Well, and to top it off, is Stafford even playing right now? Because
his eggs are scrambled. No, he was in concussion protocol. He never played this past week. He was concussion.
I know he either got pulled or didn't play. So now you have him out plus Kupp. Like, that team is a complete dumpster of what it
from champs to chumps.
It's so much to the point where Aaron Donald's probably wishing he would have retired at this point.
Pretty much. Yep. They had Wolford? John Wolford.
It's rough.
I'd rather have. No, I'm not going to say it. I'd rather have John Wolford than Baker Mayfield. Me personally, that's just me speaking as somebody who's 6'3". Baker Mayfield and his 5'7" ass. He's hitting me in the back of the. I got a real problem with my occipital lobe, and I don't like Baker Mayfield's passes bouncing up off of it. So I'll take John Wolford.
It's almost like you have some sort of hidden agenda.
I know we weren't talking about the Carolina Panthers, but I worked it into script.
You do. It seems like every week you find a way.
Consummate professional, Jared. Bartles and James.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Just today, kind of shocking, staying with the team out in the desert.
Oh,
Benjamin.
Oh yeah, the Cardinals.
Released from the desert, and he was
dissatisfied with his role in the offense. So they said,
He was a free bird for about 5 minutes until he went down to the dumpster in Houston.
Started 3 games for him. Looked like a goddamn fucking true running back.
Yeah, he looked
until they got their cancer survivor back, and all of a sudden he's relegated to the trash heap.
The reason Eno looked good and got cut was because I have him on my team. I have him on my fantasy roster.
I
should cut him now, and then he'll turn out to have a good final stretch of the year.
I mean, I was willing to give you all the credit in the world for that.
That doesn't happen often.
I was
track.
I wasn't really going to, but he's. You know what? When Damian Pierce goes down this week, everybody's going to be loving them some Eno Benjamin down there in Houston and across your fantasy leagues.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the jury's still out on that one. Another guy, speaking of injuries, we got Dallas Goedert expected to miss some time with a shoulder injury. I didn't even see what happened.
It didn't look bad. It didn't.
No,
I saw him.
It was kind of like he hit the face mask or something, and then he fell down, and he just didn't get back up. But I didn't really understand or see what happened. But yeah, he's done with a shoulder injury for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't. Now is when Zach Ertz would be eating up all those targets when he was in Philly.
Yeah, now Goddard and Ertz can, fucking hang out with each other, and they can watch Red Zone channel together, and they can call me and ask me for advice on who they should play in their fantasy teams. And my vote's still Trey McBride.
They could probably do the first one. I don't know about you getting a call, but yeah, they'll probably hang out.
They should call me if they want to win. Let Todd spin.
We'll see how that pans out. But one of the latest ones, injury-wise, yet again, is now Bears put Khalil Herbert on the IR. And I don't even know what the heck's going on with him.
That was me yawning because you're talking about the Bears.
I would trust me. I don't want to.
You do.
I don't feel like Khalil Herbert. I mean, I'd like to say that's gonna hurt the team, but let's be honest, nobody on that team is worth a damn not named Justin Fields anyway. So that's really the only one you got to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, there's still bottom of the division.
Yes, surprisingly, Detroit is making a run at it. But we'll end with this one. One of your favorites. I don't really understand what's going on or what I don't even understand the whole situation. But did you hear anything or see anything? I caught the little snapshot of his message. But OBJ is going after Nike. Like, what's going on with this? I don't really understand this. Is it? I know they were talking on ESPN about it. Like, are they trying to pull some of their bonuses because he isn't playing?
Supposedly, he was offered a ton of money from Adidas to jump ship, and he didn't. And he stayed with Nike, and it cost him however many $1 million to stay with Nike, and the verbiage got switched around. I don't know. I don't care. OBJ, you know what? The best thing you did was have your dad hop on social media and cry about Baker Mayfield.
Full circle.
Here we are. I'll throw you a $5. I'll throw you $5 on the Fiverr app to draw me up a fucking diagram of your greatest shoe that was never made by Adidas. You poor bastard. Sorry.
I couldn't figure out if it was like incentive based where they said, hey, you played most of the season, so we're gonna start recouping some of the funds. But then I heard somebody say like he was altering his attire from the Super Bowl. Like he was covered up the logo or whatever. And I'm like, well, why is this just now coming out?
The guy wears 6 different pairs of cleats in pregame, depending on the day and the orbital moon bullshit. Fuck OBJ and Nike and Colin Kaepernick because you brought me here. So here we are. I wish he would have signed with Adidas, but you know what? Greed got the better of him. Boo-hoo. Nike's got better attorneys. Sorry, Odell Beckham Jr. You're not going to win any lawsuits. You're screwed.
I don't think it's working in his favor.
Dude, if Nike could bury and one in the height of their no, you're done. You're done.
Touchable. They're really untouchable at this point. It's going to have to be something massive that shifts. But I didn't understand what was even going on because I heard it was tire stuff. I heard it was performance based. Like I didn't really know what was going on. And really, he's been completely out of the media with the exception of where's he going to sign with. So I didn't quite understand what it was all about, nor do I really care. But
yeah,
I thought it was worth bringing up just for the simple fact that it's relevant, I guess.
I like it. It's timely. And you heard it here on the Fifth Quarter Sportscast.
Yes. So we'll end here with some fantasy studs and duds, even though some of the duds are repeated from last week for one reason or another.
Facts.
Yes, from the same person. But we have, we'll start with the duds and we'll end on a high note. So we got duds. We got Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, A.J. Brown, and our good Zeke Elliott, who was inactive yet again, but somehow inactive roster. As of right now, we got 67% for A.J. Brown, and somehow somebody still voted for Zeke.
Somebody's on Joel.
That's like voting for somebody on a bye week and saying they were a dud. If Joel votes in this poll, then my question is, why are you voting in a poll but not taking him off your roster?
That's right.
But I went with A.J. Brown just because they were playing Washington and everybody was basically treating Washington like a pushover. And he got smothered. Like he was completely ineffective. He had no bearing in that game whatsoever. And wasn't Jerry Jeudy inactive?
You better. I don't know if he got hurt. Listen, if Russell Wilson's not on prime time, I don't give a good goddamn what the Broncos are doing. All right, I have my nights are cleared for number 3, baby.
I know. I just don't know if he played and got injured or if he was inactive.
He was shit. He was probably inactive.
Probably.
No, he's not owned by Joel, so he may have played.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I know he's got a bad wheel. Day to day, I don't know if he actually.
We got
A.J.
Brown.
Jerry Jeudy played only Yeah, he only played one snap before exiting with an ankle sprain. So he did actually play.
So he has one snap over Zeke at least. So that
Hey, he wasn't ruled out before kickoff.
yes, or a week before.
So there's that. Facts. That's right.
Oh.
My truth be told, full disclosure, half of this show's talent voted for AJ Brown because, and granted, while of the other four or the other three, he actually had the most fantasy points. But dude, AJ Brown 7 yards total.
Well, he only had one target or one catch going into the fourth quarter.
Like, come on.
That's how do you?
He was targeted. He just got intercepted by that Johnson, Gardner, Smith, Agnew, Wilson, Pearson, whoever the fuck he is. The guy that leads the NFL in interceptions. Yeah, that guy. He got, I think, right? I don't know. Dude, don't talk to me this late in the broadcast. I'm way too. I needed to eat some food.
Well, let's
I apologize to our listeners.
we'll end on a high note. Let's end with the fantasy studs.
God, my wife's gonna think this is another bachelor party. Jesus.
Yeah.
Every week's a bachelor party.
How many do you know?
I'm in everybody's groomsman deal. God damn it! I'm a bridal party with legs. Let's do this.
All right, so we got Fields, Pat Mahomes, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. I don't know about you, but once I see Justin Fields, the other three don't matter. That's
the
fact that he's the only one that matters on that team.
Yeah,
Put up arguably more points himself than many teams did combined.
Yahoo standard scoring. He's put up back-to-back 40-point weeks plus 40-plus point weeks back-to-back.
I mean, when you look at the 49ers and the Chargers, they barely had 40 points combined as far as scoring goes, and he put up 40 fantasy points himself.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
No, dude, he looks like what you hope every Ohio State quarterback is going to be.
Man, can you imagine if, God forbid, something happens to him and he gets hurt and Nick Foles has to come in? That's going to be a rough game.
Yeah, I mean that offense is nothing without Justin Fields. Full disclosure too of the fantasy studs that are offered, that is off of the official fantasy league of the Fifth Quarter Sportscast, which is the Commissioner's Cup. Of those, Christian Watson was not actually rostered nor played this week. Otherwise, he would have trumped Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb this week.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say he's probably a good honorable mention.
Yeah, Christian Watson would have bumped, sadly enough, he would have bumped Justin Jefferson, who, honest to God, I actually believe, did Justin Jefferson get a vote in the poll or no?
No.
Because I think I voted for Justin Fields, but it was a toss-up. It was literally a coin toss between Fields and Jefferson. Because Jefferson only scored once, but damn it if he didn't look like the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Well, I voted for Fields as well, and as of right now, 67 for Fields and 33 for Mahomes, so somebody voted for Mahomes. Probably Joel.
Yeah, that was cocked and loaded. He's biased.
Of course he is.
He owns them.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I did, and we discussed this before recording, I almost pulled the trigger in dropping Paris Campbell and picked up Christian Watson, just with the sheer issues at the depth and the roster of Green Bay. I almost considered picking him up just because, God, somebody's got to catch the ball if they're going to win the game. But then with his injuries and constantly being off the field for one reason or another, and Rodgers having a hard time meshing with the receivers, I figured it was a major boom or bust. And at least with Jeff Saturday there, I figured that Paris Campbell had a better chance of trying to resurface to be average at least, whereas Christian Watson's been in the same offense the whole year and hasn't done much.
Dude,
So I didn't pull the trigger, and goddamn if I did, I would have won this week, hands down.
Yeah. I just can't believe he was given second opportunities after week 1 when he dropped that surefire touchdown, and the look on Aaron Rodgers' face.
Well, if you saw the one touchdown he caught, that was almost the exact identical play as week 1, except this time he caught it and he scored. But again, that was the exact same play. I can't understand. I'm shocked that the fact that they went back to him time after time after time in this.
Oh yeah.
But he did have some drops in this game as well, and I don't know if it was just out of sheer necessity that they had to keep going back to him because they didn't have many.
Yeah, I know. Who else are you gonna throw to?
But essentially, this game script was basically Watson and Jones and nobody else. Like everybody else was relevant.
I just can't wait till it rotates back around to Alan Lazard.
Well, he even had a pretty decent
Yeah, no, he
had a couple big plays.
He had a good stat line. Not bad. Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I own him. Otherwise, he could fall off the face of the earth and I wouldn't care. But
I don't think most people would care because he's, as a technical, as they want to call him, their true number one, he's the least relevant number one in all of the 32 teams right now. Like, he's probably the least amount of targets as a true number one receiver from any other team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of it has to do with Aaron Rodgers not throwing the ball anymore because arthritis has overtaken that right shoulder. But I mean, it is what it is. Father Time's undefeated. You can only fuck so many supermodels before you do an ayahuasca. But you know, I'm just a humble servant here.
There's that, and with LaFleur's scheme, they want to try to quote.
Oh yeah, that guy.
They want to try to run the ball, yet they don't. And then every post-game conference, they say they got to run the ball more. Rinse, repeat.
God, the Green Bay conundrum. They make no sense to me.
Me.
They're not in the NFC East, so they are irrelevant to me.
It's true. It's true.
My condolences. You had a nice run with Favre. Oh, well.
Well, we had a nice run with Rodgers in 2010, and that was about the peak, apparently.
One and done.
Yeah. Well, all right. That'll wrap up another episode here of the Fifth Quarter Sportscast. Download, rate, subscribe, review, all that good fun stuff. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you can catch us at Fifth Quarter Sportscast 5THQ. Hit us up, send us a message, whatever, and yeah. So until next week, go watch some football and come back and catch up with us next week. We'll break down some Week 11 NFL action.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. All right, I'm going to hang up and listen. You guys are awesome.